Heavy is the head that has to manage all of this.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel.
We're now incentivized to buy what we already buy.
Fumbling through college had me building.
I also got some done on the other side.
And that was right around, I would say, May, maybe, right before renewing the lease for this property.
Welcome to the channel, Martha.
Thank you for having me here.
Oh, I was going to say, I am getting up there in age, I'll tell you what.
Bills paid by other people, life was never this good. I had to step back, knowing that it's...
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I actually want to talk about some mistakes that I made or some things that I should have done in order to be even in a better position than I am today. So again, if you know my story, if you watched what I did to become a millionaire by the age of 25, you also know that before I bought my first property, I, with my agent, Thomas Raby, visited at least 40 properties in 2020 during the height of COVID, when interest rates were like 2%, 3%. My credit was always good. And, you know, I was looking at so many properties. I can tell you for a fact, I loved at least 5 of those 40 properties, not including the one that I actually got. And, you know, a lot of duplexes that went up double in value in just a short period of time. And then also not maximizing my income at the time, not buying the biggest and best that I could at that time, knowing that my income would only grow over time, being a 22-year-old, knowing that this is just the beginning of what I was going to do with my life. And so, you know, as I was sitting back, I was allowing deals to crumble because someone would pay $5,000 more. Someone would pay $10,000 more. There were houses that I saw that had finished basements, TVs, multiple TVs downstairs in a 2-bedroom. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. You walk in, they got this like chalkboard, this black chalkboard where you can draw or write whatever you want before you enter the house. It was just so cool, so different, so unique. You know, I visited a few smart homes. When you walk in, you can tell them play music, tell the house to play music. It's amazing. Built into the fabric of the home. Not just some, you know, little Alexa or Siri device that you use. No, I'm talking about built into the fabric of the home. And so there were so many beautiful properties available. And you know, I could have bought 2 before I even went to the Army. Maybe even 3 before I even went to the Army. But instead I bought 1 at the end of 2020, which meant I closed in early 2021. Then when I got into the Army, I was able to buy another one in late 2021. After only viewing like two or 3 properties, I just chose that one. And even then, when interest rates were so low, I could have maximized everything. But I still think I did a great job, you know, with all the knowledge that I knew, with all the information that I had. It was a lot shorter of a process. Instead of looking at 40 homes, I only looked at 3. Did I know anything about this neighborhood? Not really, to be honest with you. When I drove around, I didn't drive through all the neighborhoods to see if I had the best outcome available to me. I just drove around. I saw it was nice and quiet. Nobody's fighting, you know. And I just said, you know what? Look at the house. Nothing too fancy about it, to be honest. I wasn't impressed with anything whatsoever. In fact, there was a lot of things that I didn't like. But it was 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bath. It had a nice basement. In fact, I think the basement was the thing that drew me in the most because the basement was pretty big. I said, wow, I can do a lot with this basement. And so it also had a den area, which was a nice complement to the home. I said, oh, I can use this space to make music. And so, you know, I figured out that, you know what? There is a few things that I can do with this space. There's a few things that I can like about this space. In fact, I'm using my den area to record right now. It feels like my place of business. It feels like, what I should be doing, what I should be encompassed in. And in fact, even if I bought more real estate, I would still like to come to this little spot so that I can do whatever it is that I want to do. And so I say all that to say, once I finally got this place, as you know, I started renting by the room, which is also called house hacking. And so I was able to save up, because we all know that once you buy a property, if you actually intend to live there, you now have to furnish it. And that costs tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how big your home is as well. It cost me about 8 to 10 grand to furnish the home once I actually got into it. All right, that was hidden costs that I wasn't aware of at the time. Now, that is not a big deal. That's not a cascading problem. But I just want to let people know that there is more to the cost of homeownership in itself, right? And so here's another thing that I messed up on. Although I was living good, although I had tenants in place and all that stuff, I always held off on finishing my basement. Now, in order to do the rough-in plumbing for the basement, I was finally quoted by someone that I trusted, a company that I trusted, $21,000, and they would do it in 3 days. I didn't want to pay twice as much as it would cost me to just finish it without a bathroom. Because literally to finish it without a bathroom would cost me 10 grand. They would charge me 21 grand to just do the rough-in plumbing for a bathroom, tub, toilet in the basement, when all the plumbing is right there that you can already kind of use and get things situated. So I was like, no, for 3 days of work, 21 grand is a lot, So I said absolutely not, and didn't get it done. But you know what happened recently? I had a former tenant call me and say, hey, I have 3 people needing a room. I love the service that you provided me. Did you get your basement finished? I said, no. They would love to live there. Guess what? If I had just charged all 3 of them $700 a month for the year, that would have been over $21,000 for just the 3 of them for the year. They would have paid for all of that in just 1 year. But because I was skimpy, because I didn't want to invest in that at the time, I wasted profits. I wasted money, and I still am wasting money because I still have not gotten it done. Can you imagine? Still to this day, have not gotten it done. Been procrastinating, been allowing everything else to happen except doing what I said I was going to do this entire time. I would have already made that money back, $21,000 in a year, like that. And it would have been a tax write-off. I would have had to pay no taxes this year because I'm investing in the business. So those are just a few of the mistakes I made. I would have increased my income, had access to more real estate, been able to do so much more stuff, been able to stress so much less, and been able to pay off this property even more sooner by investing for the future. So yes. Although you see success and a lot of gains that come from the process of building, that comes from taking action, there's also losses from not taking action. Tens of thousands of dollars has already been lost because I failed to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get things in motion. That's just the truth. If I really wanted to solidify everything and really get things moving, it would probably cost me $40,000 to fully finish that basement. And I was saying, no, I shouldn't do that. That's the cost of another down payment for an entirely new house. Why would I just not get a whole new house? Why not? Right? Get more appreciation, get more equity, get more renters in there. And that's true. I could have done that as well. but neither of it has been done. And then I finally found a property that I wanted to close on, and it's now contingent for someone else because I didn't want to pay $11,000 more. $11,000 more. Now, do I think that the person was asking way too much for the property? Yes. Do I think the person should have came down to the price and been reasonable? Yes. Do I believe that there will be other properties on the market that will yield me better returns in the future? Yes. And another thing I want to say is that I also believe that the government is going to have to lower interest rates because of their own debt and their own spending. So, there's a theory right now that the government is going to have to cut interest rates drastically just to pay their own interest, right? They're paying multiple billions in interest, almost $1 trillion in interest. They need to lower the interest rates in order to cover that. And so, people will start to refinance at 5, maybe even 4%. And I don't really see interest rates getting to 3%. I don't see the Fed dropping their rate to 0 again. I don't see a crisis occurring to where the Fed must drop rates to 0. People are speculating that a crisis will occur to where the Fed has to drop it to 0. But I honestly believe that the best interest rates that we will see is probably close to 4.5%. Probably close to 4.5%. And so, the government is going to continue to spend more and more and more money. The interest rate is going to continue to go up and up and up. And the only way for them to solve that problem is to refinance their debt long term at a lower percentage rate. And that's exactly what they're going to have to do. So within the next 4 years, you're going to see that interest rate continue to decrease. You're going to see more opportunity available to each and every American. As long as you have a job, as long as you're saving money, as long as you're investing. And when that time comes, are you going to be ready to do exactly what you need to do? Are you going to be ready to take action and not allow a deal to just slip through your fingers? Because I can tell you, this opportunity may not come again in my lifetime once it does come. But again, preparation when it meets opportunity is absolutely success. And there's a lot more stories to talk about. I am going to save that for a later video. But if you like this one, if you like some of the failures that I've made, make sure you put a like in the comment section down below, because we can talk about success all the time. But sometimes we have to also talk about some mistakes that we've made and that we've learned from. You understand? And I do want to shout out my uncle, because he told me a few times, hey, don't let $5,000 get in the way of your investments. Don't let $10,000 get in the way of your investment. That's only like $50 a month. That's only like $5 a month. I didn't listen. But you know what? When I finally bought my first property, I took $5,000 off when everybody was telling me not to. Just keep the $5,000. And guess what? I saved $5,000 just by negotiating it. And then I negotiated another $3,500 in closing costs. And so I got the best deal that I wanted and that I was happy with. But that just took me sticking to my principles. And I'm super, super happy with that home. I had the same tenant in there since 2021. We're about to be in 2025. Right? And so, that's almost like is that almost like a quarter of the mortgage now? That's more than a third of the mortgage. That's more than a tenth of the mortgage, right? In terms of years. If you have a 30-year mortgage, 3 years is 10%. And so, yeah, and I've been paying extra and extra and extra. So having that same tenant in there has already paid the down payment that I put on the property, right? Because I put 10% down. And so, I say all that to say, when you make good investment decisions, things are great. And, it will be a great opportunity. I don't know what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to continue to invest in more real estate or whether I go for the dream home. I'm still super, super young, so I might just invest in more real estate when that time comes. Now, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. You know I post every single day at 8 a.m. daily on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify for podcasters. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Peace.